Joining us now is an infection prevention specialist, Rayne Guest. Mrs. Guest, how are you this morning? And thank you for joining us on Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's a great morning here in Dallas, Texas. Thanks for having me, Ryan.
I know it's even earlier with the time change, so I do appreciate it. And I think sometimes when people hear about Ebola and they hear about the hantavirus and all these different things going on, can I tell you what really scares me right now? As an infection prevention specialist, ticks scare me. Am I right to say that there's a lot of things out there right now that when we hear it in the news, we may get a fear of it when it may be an irrational fear? I think the things we really need to look out for are things like ticks.
I can understand why you'd be afraid of them. I'm from Idaho, from the mountains of Idaho, so ticks are pretty prevalent up there. So you just learn, like most things, how to, check for ticks at the end of the day when you go out in the woods so that you can be proactive in ensuring that they don't have a chance to burrow and cause a problem. So,
right.
Like Ebola and hantavirus, there are different steps that you can take to, do the best you can to ensure your safety, kind of like wearing a seatbelt in a car.
So right now, we have a no travel advisory. If you're from certain areas where Ebola is in an outbreak, then you can't fly into the United States. There's certain precautions that are being made. Is there anything we should be worrying about here in the United States? Should a regular everyday person be concerned they're going to contract Ebola?
Well, in order to contract Ebola, you have to be in contact with Ebola. So my big concern right now is that in America and pretty much across the world, we're taking a very reactive approach to this. We're saying, okay, we're going to do contact tracing, we're going to monitor people, we're going to do these things. What we should be doing is saying, okay, how do we get infected with it? Well, we get infected with it when we're exposed to the germs. Mm-hmm. So what can we do to kill the germs before we're infected with it? Would you agree? We want to kill what's causing it.
Sure.
So in airports, for example, here in the United States, a lot of airports are using quaternary ammonia disinfectants, which take 10 minutes to kill the germs. You would actually have to spray the product on the surface, let it sit for 10 minutes before it actually kills the germs it says it's going to kill. And nobody does it. It's just this, everybody in the U.S., if anything, they spray and wipe. Even during COVID, there was no public guidance on what actually has to be done with these disinfectants for it to kill the germs and for it to be effective against the germs. And what I'd like to see is, we have new disinfectants that are way better than quaternary ammonia products. We patented a hypochlorous acid disinfectant, and hypochlorous acid sounds scary, but it's actually what our white blood cells produce to fight pathogens. So this product kills germs 10 to 30 times faster than quaternary ammonia products. It's hypoallergenic because we actually mimic what our body's immune system is doing to fight pathogens. So I'd like to see public facilities, especially your hotels and your airports, using a product like this so that we can be assured that germs are properly being killed. And hey, put it in 3-ounce containers, pass it out to people on the plane so that they can, in effect, become responsible for their own infection prevention.
So
during
is
COVID,
this stuff like a gel? Like they do, kind of like what you do with the hand sanitizer? It's a liquid?
No. Yeah, it's liquid. So the actual composition is that comes out of our patented device. It's 99.98% water and 0.02% hypochlorous acid. And again, hypochlorous acid is what our body makes to fight pathogens. But we've gone through all the EPA testing. It kills all the really tough pathogens like your MRSA, TB, black mold. Ebola is fairly easy to kill because it's an enveloped virus. It just kills all these pathogens really quick, effectively, and with no negative health or environmental consequences.
I want to go back to something you said there for a moment, because like when I look at commercials and, they kind of talk about the effectiveness of hand soap, for example, and they always do that demonstration on the screen and like, hey, look at all these little germs squiggling around on the screen. And then we put the soap on it and look at 99.9% gone. And there's always like one off to the corner. So they make it look like all these things happen instantaneously. So what you're talking about
No.
is it comes in liquid form. Do you spray it like an aerosol or kind of like a pump spray? And do you have to let it sit on there? In Ebola, it takes time it's not an instant thing?
No, so, okay, every pathogen has what we call contact times. And a contact time is the amount of time that a product actually has to sit wet on the surface, including hands for hand sanitizers. There's a contact time for these products to be effective against the pathogens. And different types of pathogens have different contact times because some are tougher to kill than others. So, for example, the average contact time for a product that are used in hospitals to be effective against something like MRSA would have to sit on the surface for 10 minutes in order to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Our product is 100% effective. 10 minutes, nobody does it. That's why we have such a huge issue with healthcare-acquired infections. So our product is 100% kill in 1 minute. Now, we've also had it tested for hand sanitizing, right, because there's different types of tests you do for that. And the shortest amount of time that it actually takes the lab to run the test was 20 seconds. And in 20 seconds, our product had a 7-log reduction in the toughest pathogens. That means 99.99999% kill in under 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. But we can't sell our product as a hand sanitizer because the FDA has not allowed hypochlorous acid on their monograph list of approved ingredients, even though our body naturally produces it. So alcohol-based sanitizers, for example, they don't kill stuff like norovirus. They don't kill C. diff. They don't kill C. auris. And you have to let it sit on your hands for minutes before it would actually become effective. It dries out your hands so people don't use it as frequently. There's a lot of gaps in infection prevention due to regulatory issues that we have currently. So we need to revamp that. Mm-hmm.
I feel like all these things you're saying here, I think back about COVID and all the lies of things that were told to me. There's so many different, I think about these things now in retrospect, and I'm like, they gave me a false sense of security, some of the things that you're discussing here right now, because they made it sound like, oh, you know what, just real quick, do this little spray and then you're good to go. Now you're making me feel like, oh boy, the world around me is dangerous and it don't matter what I do, it's going to get me. I feel even worse about it now.
Look, there are things that we can all do, okay? And truly washing your hands with soap and water right now is probably the most effective thing that we can do to protect ourselves against Ebola. Because the way these germs infect us is you touch a contaminated surface, especially Ebola, because it's not aerosolized. You're going to touch a contaminated surface and then touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. And that's how we get infected. And the average person touches their face 23 times an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we get cold, flu, RSV, all of these things. And one of the big lies that was told during COVID is that surfaces don't spread COVID. Well, that's BS. The way they got away with saying that is because, a surface doesn't get up and walk around and spread COVID. But touching that surface and then touching your eyes, nose, and mouth is absolutely a way COVID can spread.
I'm curious now, just for the sake of time. If people wanted to learn more about this, and I know that you're talking about, some ways to speed up this process, where can they go? What's a good website people can check out?
Come to ArrowClean.com, ArrowClean.com. Shoot us an email. We have consumer products available. We'd love to get you some so that you can protect yourself.
All right. I think a lot of people are paying closer attention to things like this. Infection prevention specialist, Rayne Guest, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
You have a wonderful day, Ryan. Thank you.